So this morning I have two B39 BMW bumpers and one 475 tailgate. Cleaned them off, solvent degreaser, oil-based degreaser, blown and packed. I'm not sure you guys want to watch that every time I paint a car. What I'm doing now, edges first, always edges first, make sure you get them right in there. Nothing worse than when it comes out of the oven and they're fitting it to the car and they say, oh, you've missed an edge. And you've got to try and local it on the car, try and blow it back in. Not so much fun. I always do bumpers in sections, one end, middle, the other end. Come back around, hit my edges. I want to say edges first, it's just edges on the particular side you're on. I know that this edge, but while I'm doing this edge, if I hit that now, you can see it's covering here, whereas if I colour that edge looks like it's done. That's not blocked, and then you can just fill in after you've hit your edges. Nice and simple. Same thing again, hit that edge and all that paint comes here. So if I was to paint this way, it looks like it could be done. So rather hit the edge first, you know it's covered. See, and then you just come across, fill in the blank. And I always try to set a routine when I'm doing them. If you can just do that every single time you do any job, hit the edge first, hit the edge first, hit the edge first. You're gonna build that pattern in your memory that it's done. It's already a part of your style. I almost switch off painting now because I've done it for that long. Something like 16 years, 17 years painting, so to build those routines in, don't drop it, to build those routines in is quite useful. It allows me to switch off almost. I can concentrate on audio books or mostly audio books, I was going to say all music. I'm an audio book guy, I like to listen, try and learn some other stuff. You see I'm not doing my edges that I'm preaching about. Beautiful. Switch over my guns, 475. Same thing. The Walcom Slim X-Lite 1.3 HTE. Lovely gun. And that'll do. For this, I'm going to come out, put the blowers on. 10 minutes at 50 degrees, flash off. Okay, second coat, same thing again. So I was saying, always try and work in patterns. Edges, this one, edges, that one, paint that one, beautiful. Glasurit system is always 2 coats and a drop if it's not a solid colour. Unless you've got a tricky colour that requires a slightly different approach, some you could use a no drop coat. And look at this, half a job. Yeah, there could be some colours where you don't need, doesn't require a drop coat just to match what was on there before. But obviously if you get a strange colour like that and you can't match it, you're going to do spray outs, you're going to use your camera just to get that right. I always see people, you know, trying to rush it. Oh, just paint it, it'll be fine. Like, it, for me it doesn't take long to get a spray out card. And that's what I like to do in between while it's flashing off. Rather than standing and blow drying it, our blowers come on quite quickly. They provide a lot of heat quite fast. So my best thing is to put it on, flash off, go outside, check my next car, find out what I'm painting next, get the colour ready, get it mixed. Then you know if it's a strange colour, or not a strange colour, but a colour that you don't have, or you need to do your spray out for it, bring the spray out card in here, put it over there, out of the way in the corner, and paint it. Get it ready, so when you bake this, you can go out to your car, and you've got your spray out chip, before it comes in here. You can match it, you can say, oh that's good, that's no good, and if it's not good, you can just bring the next car in. We're in a production shop, so we do quite a lot of vehicles. So for me, if the colour's not right, simply move that vehicle to the side and do another spray out. Find the next variant. And that way, you know, rather than wasting a bunch of time and paint and materials on a car that might not match, get your colour match. Get it ready. Just process everything. Make your system. Get that. I don't even know how to describe it. Get those processes in place. Those systems where, right, this is flash. Check the job. Check the colour. And it just makes you that bit more valuable. A bit more valuable to the company. Look, he actually does his job. He works hard. He actually cares about painting. There's a lot of people that just show up and paint, and I'm like, I feel like they're just showing up to collect the paycheck, which is fair enough. Not everybody loves it, but I'm doing this because I have a passion for cars and a passion for painting. So for me to come here every day, it's not a bad thing. Beautiful. Nice and simple on the tailgate. So I'm going to go out now. I know my next job is likely to be B45, which is a blue, both sides of the car, so I'm going to go and get the colour ready for that now. Okay then, time to do the drop coat or control coat, whichever way you call it. Just drop my pressure ever so slightly. Come in half trigger, further away. Just give it that nice even coat. This is just to get your metallics laying down nicely. There's nothing worse than coming out of the oven and it's patchy. We've all seen them going down the road. Patchy cars or cars with stripes in them, where the blend hasn't been sufficiently blended, should I say? Would that be right to say? I don't know. Make up as I go along. But that's the thing in here, there's no rush. You want to make sure everything is right before you put your lacquer on. Beautiful. I'm going to have to find another word to say. Lovely. I say lovely. So all I'm doing is I want it to go matte. I want it to be completely smooth. I want it to look like you could just leave it as a matte finished car. Obviously we're not going to because this is gloss, but also the lacquer adds the protection from the elements of driving in the real world. Not that we live on an alternative world, but you know what I mean. The weather, the sun, the rain, the road. So coming in with the drop coat on the 475. Same thing again. Nice, light, even coats. Further away from the panel. Look at the fan on that. I still can't get over this gun. For what it is, I know they've designed it as an entry-level gun. Comes in a 1.3, 1.5 and a 1.7 I think. But it's fantastic. Get everything with it. You get the, comes with a gauge, the pot, service kit in the case. Can't go wrong. Lovely gun. Okay, lacquer time. Same as always, I'm using the Glasurit 115 with the fast hardener, which is the 31. As always, the Walcom 1.2 HTE clear 31.5, beautiful. Same setup as well. Wound all fluid, wound all the way in, and then wound out 3 turns. and that's perfect for me. The speed I work at. All I'm aiming to do on my first coat is to get a full closed coat. So it's closed, but it's not wet. I'm not trying to get the gloss at this point. I found with this lacquer, if you just put too heavy wet coats on, which I prefer to do, I've had to adjust my style because the solvent pop is just it's not worth it. I've tried letting them sit for longer between flash, but I think the first coat dries out quicker, and it just traps the solvent. It's not good for this clear. So I've just adjusted my style to make sure we're getting good jobs every time. Get the consistency. The nice thing is though, there's not much flash in between. I'll probably be able to just go from the tailgate right back to the first bumper. I could slow that down by using these slower hardeners, but we don't have them here unless it's like a really hot day or whatever. We're quite fast-paced production, so we want numbers at the end of the day. So using the faster clears and adjusting our style to work with the faster clears is the best way for us to hit our targets. Lovely. Loving these Merca pots as well. Can't wait for you to try them. I'm understanding that they're exclusive to the company that I work with at the moment in the UK. But when they come out, I'll definitely give them a go. They're rock solid up there. And they feel the same as having the factory pot from Walcom on my gun. It's great. So, like I said, that will be, first one will be dry enough. We'll come back. And now I'm going to go for the gloss. And all I do is I just slow down ever so slightly. Okay, this gun's set up for my speed and my style of painting. Again, making sure I'm hitting those edges. And now just relax, just take the time to watch the lacquer going on. And the tips, I'm just using the back of my hand to check there's no dry areas as I move around. Starting to notice as well with this camera, I'm leaning my head a lot for some reason while I'm doing it. That's probably me checking with the light. I just tend to get down on the angles and use the ceiling light to look for a reflection to make sure that I am hitting my edges and getting, you know, good coverage. I've said a few times, there's nothing worse than this, there's nothing worse than that, but if you get that dry and they try and polish it out there and they burn through, it's a rework for something that could be avoided if you just spend the time to check, you know, move your head in those funny angles, get down, check it. Just make sure you're getting that wet. That consistent wet look. Lovely. Again, if you're not sure, stick your hand in there and look for the reflection of the glove, and you can see that it's not orange peely or it's not dry. And this, for me, this is the enjoyable part, getting that finished. When there's some colours out there that they're just gorgeous, the blues, these really deep pearl blues. They look like velvet when they're matte before you've cleared them, and then when you clear them they bring that colour value in, and you can just see the pearl. One of my favourite things about the job is the colours. One of the things that's nice about working on BMW cars, they do have burnt oranges, blues, greens. They have a lot of interesting colours, which is nice. They're a bit more flamboyant than some companies with their colour choices, and their customers choose them, which is ultimately why I get to paint them. We're refurbing these cars to go back out into the market, so if somebody's opted to have a green or an orange car, then I get the joy of painting that colour. Go and refill my Merca paint cup system. Hit that tailgate. Okay, coming back in. Same again. Here's the second coat. You just do it slowly, evenly. Make sure we get under there. I don't know if we can get a view under there. There is metal, so we want to make sure that that area is painted as well. It's not bare metal, as I say. It is a painted surface. But that's one of the things I like to do. I like to make sure you're just getting the job. Just spend 10 minutes in here, making sure everything's right, and save a world of paint out on the shop floor when they're rebuilding it. You know, taking that extra couple of minutes to make sure it's clean, blown off, packed, making sure your edges are done. Making sure the obscure areas like that, under there where the lights go on the screw lid, making sure it's just a nice job. Take that little bit of pride in your work. And then I always have a little walk round after. Get down, use the light, make sure. That's a little bit peely, but acceptable. I'll give it another one. Why not? But it's a nice job, nice and clean, one nib. And that's my point. Just keep putting those systems in place. Edges, gun setup. How you would say it, to have a routine. That's what I'm looking for. Routine. Have that routine. Routine on the edges. Routine on gun setup. Routine on where you've started. Because the lacquer's catalyzed, it's going to go off. So if I start here and go around and come back to here, they're all drying at the same rate, roughly. You come back round, finish the job, nice and clean. We've got one nib here. a half a nib. Nice job. Doesn't take very long to clean this one up at all. And that'll do for this video. I'm glad you guys tuned in to watch. Give me some of your time. I know time's precious for a lot of you guys, so thank you. I'll see you in the next one.